Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Daddy Issues, the number one podcast for single dads. Tonight we got on Christain, coming from Queensland, Australia. The time difference is crazy, but we got it going on, and he's going to share some advice and kind of talk about his story and the positives of what's going on with his separation and his life. So take a listen. Welcome to the podcast from Australia.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate it.
That's what's up. Wow.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, yeah. Crazy time difference for me and you, but thank you for coming on for sure.
That was good, bro. Thank you for staying late.
Absolutely.
To have me on.
Yeah. So I don't know if you've listened to any of the episodes before, but it's kind of just kind of telling your story and hopefully giving some advice. I actually can't wait to hear your story because it looks like you had a pretty big transformation from your breakup to now. So pretty cool to see.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yes. Then the process, it's a roller coaster, and it's always changing. It's still today, it's changing and you're learning, and it took a lot of work from both sides to be where we are now.
Yeah.
Level of communication and
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you guys good now? Are you guys?
Yeah, we're family. Like we look after each other as family.
That's awesome.
We learned that not because there's not a romantic connection or a romantic relationship doesn't mean that we're not family, that we're not there for each other.
Yeah.
And now she's like my sister, and I'm like her brother.
Now let me ask you this, because if the people that are just listening to this, because if you see your Facebook, you're pretty jacked, you're pretty diesel. Does she have?
Yeah.
But does she have? Because you weren't looking like that when you guys were together, but you did all of that after you guys broke up.
Yeah, so I did look like that at the beginning of our relationship. Then you get comfortable.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
The kids. And I did get out of shape. Like we're both passionate about fitness and stuff. We never stopped training, but
Gotcha.
I definitely taking the role of a husband and of a father. It wasn't my priority anymore, so I didn't stop training. But like I was working long hours, looking after my food that much. And I also got for a period of time I got pretty sick, so I did have to stop training. I had to learn to walk again.
Oh wow.
Games again, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. So there was definitely I did get in the best shape of my life after the breakup.
Just more focused and on you and
yeah. So my mindset was there was two ways to go, right? Like either I become, I get drunk, drugs, all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And give her a reason to be able to tell my son, see, this is why I left your dad, because I was right, it was a piece of shit. Or do I become the best version of myself?
Good for you.
He's never gonna be able to say that to my kid, because she'll be like, oh, I fucked up.
Right.
So that was sort of like my mindset at the time, and it helped that it was through the COVID lockdowns. So there wasn't really that much of that option of going out party, all that kind of thing.
And Australia was bad with that.
Australia was yes, it's weird because we were like better than everywhere else, but then it extended longer than everyone else.
Yeah.
So at the time of the actual lockdown, we did have more freedom than majority of people. I have friends all over the world, and they're like, oh, like, you're allowed to go out. And I was like, yeah, we were allowed to go out as long as like we're exercising, doing, stuff, and like we do social gatherings, but like limited amount of people. So like we did have a lot of more freedom, but then after a while, once everyone was fully freedom, we were still stuck there.
Yeah.
So it worked, and good in a way and bad in another. But for me, it helped to keep myself online, even though because there were still like house parties and there were still, like
of course,
the bottle or getting a bottle and stuff like that. And there was times where I had the bottle there, and I was like, fuck, I'm just gonna get drunk, and I was like, you know what, no, I'm gonna go bench. And
Yeah.
I did that until I had no more energy.
Well, the
And
results
yeah,
show for sure.
so,
Yeah, the hard work, man. Um, did you,
yeah,
because it's great that you and her are on good terms now. I mean, that's literally what it's all about because you guys have a son and that's all that matters is the kid. Did you guys
yeah,
have a bad falling out or like how did that whole situation go down?
yeah. So it was bad because the relationship was sort of like ending, and then I had my illness, which extended the relationship for another year because she was looking after me, all
Yeah.
that stuff. But yeah, eventually things she had the idea that I had cheated on her, and I did not have a way to prove that I didn't. Um, so and I could understand that. I could understand the reasons. There's like some text messages that she saw with a coworker. That was a lesbian, and it was like a jokes, but I had no way to prove that.
Right.
I understand her point of view. Um, and so I think she never recovered from that. And one day she said that she was going to visit their family for 2 weeks with my son. We were living separated in the same house, and she took off. And in that period of time, the like a couple of days after she left, there was a lockdown. So um, we got locked in between states. She went to New South Wales where the family was, and I was in Queensland. So for that whole year, I could barely see my son. I only saw
Wow.
him twice. And yeah, so I did have a lot of anger and resentment for the way that she did things.
Yeah.
And yeah, we weren't good at all at the beginning. We were those exes that hate each other, and
Yeah.
that can barely talk. And that I would call and she wouldn't pick up. And I'm like, let me talk with my son. I'm gonna call the cop. I went through all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um. Eventually, you do realize how easier life gets.
When you get along.
You stop fighting.
Absolutely.
Yes.
But
Yes.
also to
So,
your point when you were in lockdown for COVID and she had just left, you're also sitting at
yeah.
home like just thinking about it all the time. Like you can't really do much. So it's like you're like, fuck, where's my family? Where's my, I want to see my son. That's a long time to sit there and have to
Yeah.
think about it.
Yeah, there's a lot of crying, that's for sure.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like sitting in his room and crying. Um, but what I told myself is was I can't do anything about this right now. So what I can do is utilize the spare time that I have to build on other things and build a base for whenever I get to have him back. So that's when I started
Awesome.
businesses, training, I was doing all these kind of things while I was preparing for the whole process, the whole legal process that thankfully we didn't have to go through because we kind of both grew up before
That's
having to
awesome.
get to that.
Yeah.
But at the time, yeah, I thought that was just the only way. And like I know there's because you got another relationship and all these kind of things as it happens, like usually the girl moves on a lot quicker.
Yeah.
Um, but um, but like that, I started seeing girls as well and all these kind of things. But there was all because she already had a relationship there, all these kind of things. There was no conversation from her coming back. And I know usually in podcasts and all these kind of things, people don't like when religion is mentioned, but I need to tell the story the way it happened, right?
Right. Right.
So yeah, so this is what happened. I used to work at church. I wasn't very religious. And I kept going because like there was a community there that was giving me support. And I put a prayer request that said that I don't want to be a distant dad. I want my son back in my life, and I want to raise him. I put that prayer request. I got called. Oh, this is the pastor from church. We're gonna do a group. prayer for your request tonight, right? And then the next morning, I get a message from her saying, "Oh, we're moving back to the Gold Coast tomorrow," out of the blue. So I didn't need to tell that story because for me, that was like, okay, this is a miracle. This
Wow.
is
Yeah.
unreal. So that there was no conversation of anything. So it was
The
like,
day
we're gonna
after.
plan for this today, and the day after, I guess we're moving back.
That's
And that
crazy.
next Sunday, my son was at church with me. After a whole year
Wait, now
of
did they
being
move?
separated from him.
Did they move back with you, or did she just move back into your city, but in a different place?
Yeah, they're more back to my city.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, and then from there we kept working on things. It wasn't smooth at the beginning, but
Right.
we just keep working and working, and start doing more things together with him and his birthdays and his school thing and all the kind of things. And like once you realize that, for what I see in most of dads and the group and stuff, even when they're like post a message, text messages saying, my ex not letting me see my kid and stuff, and then they go a little background, oh, she cheated on me, this and that, and I see like that has nothing to do with what's happening with the kids. So that already told me how the past experience of their relationship is still affecting the interaction of the co-parent. Because why are you even talking about the cheating?
Yeah.
So that already tells me that you guys are talking with anger and with all these kind of things. And if you really want a positive future, you have to live. You can't keep living in the past.
Yeah.
So whatever happens, the cheating, this, that, it doesn't matter. It's all gone.
See, yeah, that's a hard part, especially for me and for a lot of dads out there. Is you've had so much hate and everything from the other side. It's like in the beginning, I didn't want to go to court. I didn't want, I wish we could have got along, but it's gone so far. And it's like, I don't know if I could forgive. I know it would be better for everyone if I was like to forgive, and I don't even know where she's at. But you have so much pain, so much hate, and it's like, I don't want to forget. Like, I want you to get in trouble for what you're doing. I feel like a lot of men out there are going through that, and it's so easy to be like, oh, we'll just forgive and forget. I don't know. I don't know if it definitely would help. It definitely would.
Don't forget, but forgive.
Right. Yeah.
It's a separate thing. I don't forget. I don't forget about things.
Yeah.
Sometimes things I'm not gonna mention, and I say like, I haven't forgotten.
Right.
So yeah. No worries. We don't forget, but we do move on. And I had some situations where I'm like, whoa, I'm so thankful we took that route because it's extremely important to have a good communication
Yeah.
with your baby mama, and in the sense of like the safety of your kid. If if she has a partner that does something to your kid that she doesn't trust you to tell you, then that whole different world of pain and trouble.
Absolutely.
That where you're gonna wish you had a good communication, because it's different where she feels like if she told you something, you're gonna be like, oh, see, you piece of shit, why you around the kids, this and that. So they won't even gonna bother you telling you.
Yeah.
But when you're in the boat and in the same team, and she tells you, then we're like, okay, well, now we're gonna get him together.
Yeah. How are we gonna deal with this? Yeah.
Yeah. So it is important. It is important in the long run, and yeah, that will be my advice. I know it's easier said than done,
Absolutely. Yeah.
but at the same time, it's just that easy because it's actually already done.
Right.
It's done. You look around you. You're not living in the same house. You're not in the same life. It's actually gone. It's only a lie here.
Yeah, absolutely.
All because you keep repeating it in your mind. So it is as easy as just letting it go because it's already gone.
Yeah.
But it's only us that keep it alive here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, have you been in a relationship since the breakup, since you and her broke up?
Yes. Yes. I one serious relationship and plenty of
Right.
not that serious relationships.
Yeah. And she was cool with all of it?
Yeah. She's like we get along like really well.
That's
To the
awesome.
point that there's one night that not that long ago I got home. I brought home some chicks from the club, and then they wouldn't leave, and I wanted to sleep, and I messaged her, "Are you awake?" Like, yeah, what's up? And I was like, "Can you call me and put you on a speaker and say that you're bringing our son, so that she sleeps?" And she did, and she called
Wow.
straight away. Oh, I'm 15 minutes away. And I was like, "Oh, look, my baby mama." So yeah, you gotta go. And I was laughing because I was like, I never thought we would be at this
I was
point of
gonna say
relationship,
that's
of
yeah.
friendship.
That's when you know you guys are back and at a good friendship when you could do something like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
But when it comes to serious relationships, yeah, there's complete respect. You know, I tell girlfriends, you know, I have this relationship with her. This is not optional. I need to communicate properly. You know, you gotta trust me. There's nothing there romantic. Um, and you know, my kid has his mom. Because we were separated means that you're coming here as a second mom. He already has a mom, and you know, like you're my girl. You can help me out, but that's not a role that you need to cover.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So yeah, right. It's I don't know. I was married 5 years. Um, and I can see how difficult it is for guys to adapt to the new dating scene because it's a whole different world.
Oh, for sure.
You know, I came out of a relationship. I was like, I don't know what is this.
Right. Especially if you're
And
30, 40, 50 years old, you know, you didn't have the social media shit that you do now. Like everything's on the phone or the app. You don't meet women at bars anymore. You know, it's crazy.
yeah, that's it. And you know, like men that are way more optional now than they were before. You know, all girls are like do what they want, and
Yeah.
you know, I don't need you. Next, you know, you ask a question, but God, this is too much. Next one, yeah. So yeah, it's hard, but I mean, I'm an immigrant. I adapt. You know, like
Yeah.
it's not as hard for me to adapt things, but I do see a lot of that come out of marriages struggling, and yeah, but what I would say is that don't be scared to get out there. You know, sometimes there's a feeling of guilt about moving on as well, and you know, like you gotta have fun. You know, you don't have to find another wife straight away.
Right.
You're allowed to go have fun, and you shouldn't feel guilty for it because at the end of the day, if your wife walked away in the marriage, like usually happens, then you didn't put yourself in that position. You tried your best, so just enjoy yourself now.
Well, I mean that, but you said it in the beginning too. It's like, you know, you got to kind of stay busy. It's like you have two choices: either, you know, get drunk and go to the clubs and kind of fuck up your life, or get your shit together, get your head right,
Yeah,
and do the right thing. So, yeah, I mean,
right.
taking away some advice, it's like, you know, stay busy. Um, and what's something else that you would tell other fathers that are going through something like this? I mean, you have it seems like you have the best situation that came out of a breakup or divorce or whatever. You kind of figured it out.
Yeah. I feel like we I don't want to take credit myself. Like both of us figured it out.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
it's taking a lot of work, and you know, another advice I will give is when it comes to the new partner. I have read a lot of that. You know, that want to compete and they say, oh, they like the stepdad more than they like me, and that's it is a source of suffering, you know. And I did have that at the beginning, and that's also where the good communication with your baby mama comes. Because for example, I tell her like I don't want him to teach him to ride a bike. I feel like that's my job. So you gotta tell him, there's no bike riding with him. Like I'll do that.
Yeah.
And she went and then told him that, and we agreed on that. But if there's not that communication, then your opinion doesn't
Right.
matter.
So a big thing is
And
communication, because that makes 100% sense when you say something like that. Because she doesn't understand what that means. I think to a guy, especially
yeah,
with a son, that's a big deal. So yeah, it's like she needs to understand, like, that's a
yeah,
big deal to me. I want to be able to teach him that, not your, current boyfriend or whatever he is. So yeah, that
yeah,
communication's huge.
100%. And there's good communication. You're able to communicate it and explain calmly that that's important for you and why it's important for you, instead of like coming and demanding and triggering her. That
Yeah.
can be like, fuck off.
Right. Right.
That's gonna happen even quicker.
Yeah.
You know. So it will make a difference. And so that the competition, I did have a little bit of that. Like her partner was doing better money than me. I used to feel like shit because I will buy him something, he will buy him something better.
Yeah.
And then I realized that's not the type of competition you need to have. That's not my role after that. If you want to buy him expensive shit, cool.
Right.
Then I don't have to.
Yeah.
Like what's
Yeah.
important for me after that is the time I spend with him. Like
Absolutely.
listen to him. I listen to him, like what's his favorite characters in the cartoons he watch, what they do, all this kind of thing. So then I can get something that's like really cheap, but he's gonna love it more than whatever Omega got that's expensive, because I got something that he actually likes. That I'm spending time with him. Because I'm
Yeah.
listening
That
to
means
him.
so much more for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's an advice I give to single dads and to all dads really. I love that focus on the money and um bringing money, bringing expensive things to buy, all these kind of things, and sometimes it's worth the sacrifice, work a little less, and being
Just be there.
available. I'm the one that goes to all the school things. Like the mom works a bit more or different hours than me, and I know I'm always there.
Yeah.
He's like, and he's always looking, and
Oh yeah.
so excited, and it's awesome, And I do pass on jobs. I pass on better jobs. I pass on opportunities that are interstate. I pass on a lot of things, but he's only gonna be 5 years old once.
Yeah. Especially when they're that young, that's
Once in a
very
year.
important for them to see their family, their dad, at
Yeah,
least at the games and stuff like that. That's huge.
yeah, absolutely. Like, there's gonna come the time where he's a teenager. He's not gonna want to spend any time
Right.
with me anyway.
Yeah.
So then I'll get all the jobs I want and I'll do, whatever. But for now, yeah, I'll be there.
That's awesome. Awesome, man. Well, thank you so much for coming on and sharing a little bit about your story.
That's right, bro. Anytime.
Awesome. And it seems like everything's going good, which is great, because you don't hear too many of those stories where they've kind of smoothed things over and you guys are doing great. So that's good to hear for sure.
Yeah. No, there's definitely challenges. There's definitely
Of course.
still challenges. And big ones. There's things that I'm not even talking about because they're still ongoing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So maybe that's for a different episode.
Yeah.
But yeah, you overcome it better if you're able to overcome it as a team. You don't have to have a romantic relationship to be a team. That's my bigger message.
Yeah. Love it. Awesome, man. Well, thank you so much for coming on, and we'll keep in touch for sure.
Thank you for having me, brother. Appreciate it.
Awesome. Have a good one.
See you, bro.
All right. Later.
Yes, bye.